You're welcome indeed to another edition of the programme. Well, this week we're coming to you from Slievemore Keel on beautiful Achill Island for the official opening of the Dara Trail. It's a 3-kilometre walk and some spectacular scenery on Achill Island. It's going to be officially opened by the Minister of State, Dara Calleary, and we're all here for the gathering. Chris, this is another great day for Achill tourism.
It's brilliant, Henry. Yes, another experience for visitors to enhance their experience when they're on the island. And, you know, it's Fáilte Ireland are telling us this is what visitors are wanting. They're wanting to get short weekend breaks away and with activities. And this is an excellent example of an activity that all the family can do. And working in partnership with Fáilte Ireland, we have guides here at 11 o'clock from Monday to Friday, and they will bring the visitors with a guided walk. But this experience now with the app, you're able to download the app and put it on top of the tandem poles, and you'll have the experience all year round here. Brings you back in time to what lived here back in the 1920s. So it's a real vivid experience of tough times, Henry.
The trail itself is about what, 3 kilometres, is it?
This trail itself is 3 kilometres, but this is part of another trail that's about 2 kilometres down the road, and you go up to the megalithic tombs, and we've got portal tombs and core tombs there, and there's a walk up to them as well, and it's self-guided. But we would be always advising to use local guides because they have experience and knowledge that's not to be found in any technology, Henry.
So there'll be a lot of promotion on this trail now for this coming summer for visitors.
Well, the Slievemore deserted village has been phenomenal for years. It has always attracted international visitors. There's been books written on it, projects held here. You know, different universities have based their summer camps here. So it's nothing new, but this is just enhancing it that further bit more, and every little bit helps, Henry. Deirdre,
you're the Chief Officer for the local action group. So what's their involvement with this trail?
That's right, Henry. I am the Chief Officer, and the local action group manage the delivery of the leader programme within Mayo. We've been successful in delivering about 13 million worth of projects, but the opportunity also exists to apply for cooperation funding and food funding. And the project we're looking at, are launching today, the Slievemore project, actually got funding under the cooperation project. So they got 165,000, which was working to improve the trails and work on seating and signage, and also I suppose the interpretation, the technological interpretation, so that we protect the site, which is very important. So the local action group has a very important role in relation to, I suppose, approving projects that will impact in the community and, you know, provide opportunities for development within communities.
So a very worthwhile project indeed.
Absolutely worthwhile. This project is very important because it provides the opportunity for us all to experience the history and the heritage of the deserted village without impacting on the site going forward. And the trails have been improved, so there is an opportunity whether I want to come and visit it directly or see it online, so that's very important.
It's a fantastic day, huge crowd here on not a great day. I'm delighted to be here with Paul McNamara. This is a really exciting project. So the Heritage Trail is going to bring people back many, many thousands of years. There's also the deserted village, but you can do that now by using technology, using the app, the fantastic app.
You've just been experiencing it here.
Yeah, just looked at it there on a phone and on an iPad. It really brings it to life, and I really look forward to coming back at some stage, actually doing the trail with the app. And it shows what can be done with tradition and technology. So I want to commend everybody involved, the Slievemore Heritage Trail Committee, Mayo County Council, Councillor Paul McNamara, our tourism team, Mayo County Council, Southwest Mayo Development. I've just met the developers as well from the company, and they're so invested in it. You can see the genuine commitment that they have. So it's fantastic. I'd encourage everyone to look at it.
And there's a north-south, of course, stakeholder in this as well, isn't there? Like the North and the Republic.
Yeah, so there's a similar project in Tyrone, in the Mid-Ulster region, and the two projects have worked together under Southwest Mayo Development Partnership on Leader, which is a fantastic way. I want to see things done in the future. We work on a 32-county basis, and it just shows the benefits, the practical benefits of it. Achill has always had that connection with the North, so it's wonderful that we can use it in this sphere. But, it also shows that areas that we're trying to protect from a heritage point of view can be accessed using technology while still protecting the area and still protecting the heritage. And that's always the balance. You're trying to encourage visitors, but you're trying to protect the archaeology. And I think Slievemore Heritage Trail has shown how to do it.
Great. And a lot of people here today for the official launch of it as well, considering the weather and all that.
Yeah, it's a great crowd, but it shows how the community's invested in it. Landowners gave land and gave access to land, the local community, the local Achill tourism, Southwest Mayo Development,
a lot of stakeholders.
A lot of stakeholders, but all working together. And it wasn't easy. None of these projects are easy. I always commend volunteers. They get together, and you could see the passion the volunteers in the Slievemore Heritage Trail Committee have in this project. That's very evident here today. And we're lucky in Mayo that we have these volunteers all over the county working on so many projects. Our county would be a lot poorer without it.
Hi, I'm Neil O'Husheen. I'm from a company called NoHo. We're based in Dublin, and in conjunction with a company called Tandem in Belfast, we created this app for the Slievemore Heritage Trail. The app is an AOR-enabled app, and it works on Android and iOS. And when you come to the idea is that the app will interpret the landscape around you and show you visually in 3 dimensions what different parts of it might have looked like and stuff like that. We also have a lot of audio where we've interviewed locals around here, so we've got some really nice oral histories in it. So as you're walking around the site, you're hearing their voices, hearing their stories as you walk around. So it's very atmospheric. With the AOR 3D models that we've created, you can really get a immersive sense of what it might have liked to have been like on this site.
The committee met with the state archaeologists and other people in the Custom House in March 2019, and they advised us that a light touch only was permissible. You could not possibly excavate, you could not change anything. But they suggested to us that we use modern technology in the form of an augmented reality app, which on your iPhone or smartphone you can download, and then you can access information on what you're looking at, be it a portal tomb, be it a court tomb, or be it the deserted village itself. So we involved ourselves with a company in the north of Ireland called Tandem. This was all a partnership between Southwest Mayo Leader Development and Mid-Ulster Council in the north of Ireland. So it was a cross-border partnership, and funding came from Europe for this. So this group, Tandem, then came down to Achill and interviewed people like Dr. Teresa MacDonald, who's a well-known archaeologist who's written extensively on the archaeology and history and culture and folklore of Achill. And so she gave them a lot of information. They also interviewed retired teacher John Twin McNamara and people who still remembered the bullying tradition, which continued up to the 1940s and 50s in Achill. And so they interviewed Mary Kane, now deceased, and she remembered as a child coming up here and looking after the cattle for her granny, etc. And also they interviewed a local farmer, Tom Fadgen, who is a great historian, but he has a great knowledge of former farming practices. There was also music. Roisin McNulty played fiddle. And the other thing they have done is they have reconstructed a single house in the village. So you can go into the house, you can see how the arrangement of the furniture was, the bed for the colloch and things like that. Yeah.
So today, obviously, it must be a very proud day for you and your committee to see it come to fruition and what it's going to mean for tourism now on Achill Island as well.
Oh yes, we're very pleased that it has come to this stage. We had a lot of hoops to get through on the way. For example, we wanted to bring the trail through the deserted village, but Mayo County Council heritage architect was against that, and we would have to go through various planning hoops to get that. So we decided not to do that and just to use this road, which is the original road going west to Duwa. It went, in fact, in more recent years to the Whitestone Quarry, a quartz quarry. So there was no involvement in going through the village or excavating pathways or houses, whatever. So we're using the old road here, and we're going only about 400 yards up here. There are 3 stops where there are QR posts, which you can, once you've downloaded the app, you can aim your camera, your smartphone at it, and it will give you stories, folklore and songs, or you can actually see a digitalised reconstruction of the house.
So everybody's hoping for everybody. It'll be a great tourist experience for people coming to Achill Island.
It'll be an informed tourist experience, and it will also advise people not to leave any trace, not to have free-roaming dogs, and to respect the landscape and respect the history and of all of our ancestors, which is here.
Here, look, a great day, and of course Mayo County College is very much behind this project here on Achill Island, this heritage trail.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm delighted to be here today as Lascar here, look, of Mayo County Council for this very important. This is a North-South cooperative project, and I'm delighted to see it delivered here in Achill, here in the deserted village. It's very important that this is done. I want to congratulate all the people involved in pulling this together, the Achill community here. We're very much behind it. Mayo County Council and Leader programme, South Mayo Leader programme is in this. This is very important. It's important for tourism, it's important for Achill, and it's important indeed for the whole county here, because they want to preserve what is here, and also do the QR on this is very important. People can come along here, scan into it, and do the whole history here. And if anybody wants, you know, Henry, to follow up on this and find out more about the history of the deserted village, there's a great book, and it's called From Ballycroy and Beyond. It's a fantastic book. It goes back to the famine times here. It talks about the deserted village, how it came to be here, how the people lived here, the colonisation of it here, natal and all of that. So I'd encourage people, that book is Ballycroy and Beyond. If somebody wants to see it, it's a great read, and it ties in perfectly with what we're trying to establish here today.
So we're here at the opening of the Slievemore Heritage Trail, and it's a wonderfully important archaeological landscape that we're dealing with here. Not only do we have the famous deserted village, but we also have a number of absolutely, what I would say, nationally important monuments. We have a whole series of Neolithic monuments, graves, portal tombs and court tombs. We also have Bronze Age settlement. We have a medieval village, and we have the famous deserted village, which in fact is not one village, but 3 villages. And what we've done as phase 1 is to develop a heritage trail with augmented reality running from the graveyard on Achill Island in Slievemore up through the village. At the same time, we have another parallel trail which runs up to 2 very important Neolithic monuments, which is about 6,000 years old, a portal tomb and a court tomb. And both of those have augmented reality posts which you can go up to, tap your phone on, and you can read all about the monuments, the desert village, the tombs, on your phone. So it's a fantastic resource and really an amazing project.
Now, Teresa, you're an archaeologist. You spoke at the official launch of the Slievemore Heritage Trail today. This must have been a very important day for you.
It was a very important day. It was a culmination of 20 years' work from 1991 until the early part of the 21st century. I established the Achill Archaeological Field School in 1991, and we brought students from all over the world to the site to work on the survey and the excavation. And when I went there, I knew very little about the village, more or less like all the people locally. They all thought it was a bully village, a transhuman site where people pastured cattle in the summertime where they came from a permanent village, and they stayed overnight with the cattle in the old houses in Slievemore. So there was lots of folklore and stuff about that, which was really interesting. So we decided to excavate one of the houses initially, House 36, and we found that it was what you would call a byre house, in that it had 2 compartments divided by a channel, an east-west channel, and that the humans were in the northern part of the house, which was paved and beautiful, and there were places left for where they had their furniture and their fire, and then the southern part, south of the channel, was where the cattle were brought in to be milked. So it all started from that. So we surveyed all the houses, 74 houses that remain out of 137, originally on the ordnance, first edition of the ordnance survey map. And then we excavated 2 more houses, both were totally different than the one I had excavated. No floor, no paved floor in the second one, and in the third one there was just a quarter of a paved floor. And the village was occupied from about 1750 based on pottery we found in the excavations. We found about 8,000 sherds of pottery, actually quite sort of middle of the range pottery, not the sort of the lower from the Staffordshire potteries in England and various other places. And then we began to look at the wider landscape. I knew about the megalithic tombs, of course, from De Valera and O'Loughlin. They surveyed them in the 50s, and other antiquaries visited as well. Then the field school, we were surveying the mountain. We were field trips up and down. We were all very fit at the time. And we found a Bronze Age landscape with actually massive stone-built roundhouses and associated field systems that came down from about 1,500 feet right down to the valley bottom. And the landscape was divided. There would be about 4 or 5 times the width of the present 19th century fields, 18th, 19th century fields.
And Teresa, how would you compare the importance of the deserted village and those sites on a national scale? Just how important are they internationally, do you think?
Well, the deserted village is internationally known now because we brought people in from all parts of the world, from America, Canada, Australia, South America, Scandinavia, Europe, all over. So it's extremely well known by people. I would say that it's basically a prime national monument. You've got a whole archaeological, historical landscape that really deserves to be preserved.
So you were very involved in the project from the start there, particularly when it came to funding for this project.
Yeah, I suppose I was at the AGM where Owen Halpin, the archaeologist, presented the project, and he did a great presentation, and we could all see that the project had great potential. And then we had correspondents from Mid-Ulster who were looking to develop similar projects that involved archaeological landscapes. And from there, the cooperation project came to fruition, and Southwest Mayo Development Company applied for leader cooperation funding along with Mid-Ulster, and that was the main funding for the delivery of the Slievemore Heritage Trail.
So it would not have happened without this funding. It probably wasn't possible to go ahead with this project without that. It was crucial for the...
It was crucial funding, yeah. It was 75% of all the project costs, be it the trail development and the augmented reality, came from the Leader Cooperation Fund.
And how important was it to have a voluntary group on the island to drive this and work with you?
Well, Leader is known to be a ground-up type of programme. So really, unless you have the drivers in the local community, and you know the need is there and it's coming from the local community, and that's what makes the projects work, and that's how it grew arms and legs. That's why all the landowners and stakeholders came on board and were involved, because it was driven by the Slievemore Heritage Trail Committee, who were all local people to Achill.
And how long does the process take from once you get that application to actually its fruition?
Well, I suppose before the idea of the cooperation project came along, we were probably talking about the project for a year or two, maybe with Owen and the Slievemore Heritage Trail Committee, and we were pondering how we would go about it and where the funding would come from. And it was really when the cooperation element gave it arms and legs and made the funding possible, because Mid-Ulster were involved in projects that linked archaeological sites and stories of the landscape together. And the Slievemore Heritage Trail Committee and the people of Achill, the main idea wasn't to develop a trail, it was to protect the structures that are in place, and predominantly the deserted village that gets so many tourists each year. So it was to do something that would be educational, but that would very much tell the story while protecting the landscape that's there already.
Well, your work certainly was acknowledged, because you were presented with a lovely bouquet of flowers today for all the work and effort you put in driving this project forward to make it what it is today and officially launched today.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful to be here today. It's accumulation of lots of years' work and a great partnership. And it wouldn't have happened without all the players around the table. So, yeah, and it's just stage one. As you saw in Owen's presentation, there really is like a necklace of archaeological sites along Slievemore. So this is step one in the process, and I know there'll be more steps to come.
How are you feeling today now when you've seen it launched?
Oh, sure, delighted. I'm delighted for the committee. And it's delighted to see the augmented reality in place. It's a new technology for Mayo. So yeah, just really happy that we came to today and that we can focus on what's next now.